Good afternoon and welcome back to Under the Hood with Olivia Wood. Today we're diving back into the world of cryptocurrency after a 29-year-old man was arrested in Amsterdam under the shadow of a United States ban against a platform known as Tornado Cash. Joining me today to discuss are cryptocurrency guru and Twitter activist Crypto Duckling and Chief Financial Officer at Alpha Kappa Finance, Cliff Dick. Thank you so much for being here.
Happy to be here.
Now, Crypto Duckling, before we begin, could you explain what actually is Tornado Cash?
Sure. Well, it's what we call an obfuscation protocol. So basically it allows anybody to send or receive digital assets without third parties knowing who sent what. So for example, if I wanted to send Cliff here some digital currency anonymously, Ethereum for example.
Don't even think about it.
The most common analogy that we hear is that it's a blender, a mixer. So users put money into the smart contract, it gets jumbled up and then withdrawn at the other end.
Now, the US Treasury is citing Tornado Cash's involvement in money laundering as the reason behind the crackdown. I have to ask, Crypto Duckling, given Tornado Cash's use in illegal activity, were you or others not expecting this kind of response?
Of course not. This is a 100% decentralized protocol. I'm completely shocked.
Oh, come on, really?
Why wouldn't I be? This is literally unprecedented. You're living in cuckoo land, my friend.
Okay then, well, Cliff, why is Crypto Duckling living in, as you call it, cuckoo land?
That's a great question, and thank you, Olivia, for having me on. Look, I think this is a positive thing for the market and blockchain at large. It is, because we need to make concessions, right? And Tornado Cash is a perfect example of a protocol that was always going to come under scrutiny. And frankly, we need to weed out the dirty players in this game. Tornado Cash is not the innocent smart contract that many would like you to believe. It's not innocent or guilty, Cliff. It's a piece of technology. It's like banning boats to stop the traffickers.
That's a weak analogy. Let's crunch some numbers, okay? According to Chain Analysts, a leading chain analyst firm, 10% of all the money that's ever gone through Tornado Cash was stolen. That's a fact, okay? That's not opinion, that's a fact. 7 billion of stolen funds.
1.5, it's actually 1.5. That OFAC data was incorrect.
157, 2.769823, whatever, 10%, a large amount, that's a lot, okay? North Korea used it after state hackers stole 600 million from a bunch of innocent gamers. Beyond stolen funds, we're talking about as much as 17% tied to sanctioned entities. These are facts, okay? I'm talking Russian oligarchs, extremists. This means that almost half of Tornado Cash's use is illicit. This is very clearly a platform that is widely used by criminals. And to say otherwise is simply false. You can't have mass adoption without regulation, and Tornado Cash is the kind of thing that just has to go. And yet you want to die on this hill? Why?
Okay, my turn to crunch some numbers. 1.9 billion in 2011, 7.6 billion in 2014, 10 billion in 2017. Do these figures ring any bells? Well, allow me to refresh your memory, Cliff. That's BNP Paribas, HSBC, and Deutsche Bank. Collectively, these criminal organizations have laundered hundreds of billions of dollars every year. And that means anyone who interacts with them is guilty by association? Because surely the same principle applies here. Am I wrong?
Well, I mean, that is a fair point, isn't it? Not that I necessarily agree with the characterization of them being criminal organizations.
They broke the law, they're criminals. That is literally the definition.
Well, I guess that may be true. Cliff, your turn to respond, but before that, a very quick message from our sponsors.
Would you like to earn higher yield in a safe and sustainable manner? Well, check out Unipilot, a Uniswap v3 liquidity optimizer which keeps your capital concentrated around the current trading price at all times, so you earn higher returns and save on gas. Yield is sustainably derived from liquidity provider fees with APR for numerous vaults in the triple digits. Put your liquidity on autopilot today to earn higher rewards at unipilot.io.
When you shop for plane tickets, you probably use Kayak, Expedia, or Google Flights. So why would you limit yourself to just one exchange when you trade crypto? To make sure you're getting the best possible price, you should use a DEX aggregator like Matcha. Matcha routes your orders across all the various DeFi exchanges on Ethereum, Polygon, Avalanche, BSC, Phantom, CeeLo, and Optimism to provide the best possible prices without taking any commissions. Matcha has integrated fiat on-ramps so you can buy directly with your credit or debit card and uses smart order routing that splits your order across multiple liquidity sources. With Matcha, you can make limit orders on chain so you can set and forget your DeFi trades. And now Matcha even offers gasless trading. Head over to matcha.xyz/Defiant and connect your wallet to start smarter with Matcha.
Look, I do not condone the action or inaction of any institution involved in money laundering. Period. That said, I don't think it's a fair comparison.
But it's exactly the same thing.
Allow me to finish, please. Thank you. These are global institutions processing a huge proportion of fiat currency flow. Yes, they were negligent, criminally negligent even. I'm not disputing that, but this is like what, 1%?
You think trillions is trivial?
No, of course not, and they rightly paid huge fines for their crimes.
And how many went to jail?
Too few, my friend, too few. I'm not here to defend corruption.
And yet you are. Meanwhile, an innocent man has been arrested for a crime that isn't even a crime, and still isn't a crime according to the First Amendment. Oh, and the correct answer is 0, Cliff. 0. Nobody went to jail. Let me ask you this. In 2012, how many Bitcoin transactions were connected to online drug marketplaces? Yeah, exactly, a lot. But you didn't oppose Bitcoin back then, did you? No, you were actually on the board of advisors for a Bitcoin mining company in New Mexico. Is that not correct?
I always said Silk Road was bad PR and bad for the business.
It was the business, Cliff, at least a large part of it, until it wasn't. And you and me and many others made a lot of money validating those blocks of transactions. Let's not kid ourselves here.
If I could just bring us back to the present day, some are suggesting that this may not even be illegal and would not hold up in a court of law. Crypto Duckling just mentioned the First Amendment. Cliff, do you think there's any chance that this thing gets overturned? Yeah, sure. I mean, could be. The SDN list is specific to entities, and Tornado Cash is not an entity. It's a decentralized protocol. We had something similar a few years ago called Blender. That was also put on the list, but that was a centralized service, so OFAC could do it. And they did. And people like Crypto Duckling didn't care.
Exactly, of course we didn't. And I'm glad you said that, Cliff. Thank you, I mean that, truly. My deep concern here is not Tornado Cash itself, okay? It's the precedent this sets to ban other decentralized applications. If we roll over on this, then we are effectively surrendering to all future bans, whatever they may be. So yes, cases will be made against OFAC and maybe it wins, but that could be a long time, and until that happens, this is a big nightmare for many blockchain users and dApps and miners who are being blacklisted or having accounts frozen, even though they didn't do anything wrong.
Look, of course, I agree, everybody agrees, it makes zero sense for someone who once used Tornado Cash to be punished retroactively. And yeah, exchanges are gonna have to figure all this out, and they will. The government has zero desire to go after small amounts or normal people who've been dusted. That's when, everybody watching this sends me small amounts of ether in an attempt to ruin my life because I'm speaking facts. None of this is going to happen. Okay, Jimmy Fallon is not going to jail, but it may put off larger institutions or entities, criminal entities, from participating. It's a deterrent. And with fewer transactions, less ingredients, if you will, it becomes less effective anyway, which is a good thing. We should be making it hard for criminal actors, not defending their right to...
But it won't work. North Korea does not care about OFAC. Al-Qaeda does not care about OFAC. The bad guys will continue to use it outside of the US. They still prefer cash anyhow. Should we ban that? Meanwhile, ordinary, law-abiding citizens with very valid concerns about their privacy online could get punished. Dissidents cannot use this incredible technology, even though they have, and I'm sure you would agree, Cliff, very legitimate reasons to do so. Dude, I remember you from Bitcoin Meetup in Bratislava in 2012. You were singing a different song then, my friend. What the hell happened to you?
Look, it's messy, I get that, and yes, it's a huge challenge for everyone. They're trying to weed out the shady practices, and yes, the lines aren't drawn clearly yet. We will have to figure it out. I'm not here to defend OFAC.
What are you talking about? That is exactly what you've been doing.
We need regulation, my friend, and there are just some things we will have to give up. I mean, it drives me crazy. It's like everyone's like, oh, yay, institutional inflows, yay, Nayib Bukele, Zhu Do Kwon, woo! They want the big kids to pump their bags, but they are totally unwilling to accept the conditions in which that is truly and sustainably possible. And they look the other way when it's convenient. We do not live in a libertarian utopia. Okay, there are battles to fight and concessions to be made. Does Tornado Cash belong on the SDN? No, it's a friggin' smart contract. But there is no other list, so they put it there. And soon enough, I assure you, there will be a list specifically for this kind of thing. And many, many, many more dApps will end up on it. dApps that we might like, but do we actually need? No, because if you've got nothing to hide...
Cliff, if you finish that sentence, I swear to God, I will dust you to hell.
What you say is extremely incorrect. Of course we need regulation. I'm not anti-regulation. I'm anti-idiocy, anti-stupidity. I'm anti-laws that make no sense and cannot be practically enforced. Cliff, you're the one who's acting in self-interest here. You used to be respected, looked up to, but it's you who've been corrupted. It's the institutional guys who are showing just how narrow-minded their thinking has become. You extol the virtues of blockchain as the foundation of a new, inclusive financial system when it suits you, and yet you're willing to throw us under the bus, collateral damage be damned. They got you, man. They got your soul. I remember when you were a leader, but you've turned your back on the values you once held true because you're no longer fundamentally interested in changing a system that is broken. Your loyalties are to your clients and to the assets under your management. And it breaks my heart, it really does. You used to have guts.
Yeah, I grew up in guts and brains too, you self-righteous echo chamber keyboard warrior piece of shit. Wow, I'm afraid we have run out of time, but what a stimulating and riveting conversation. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here. I'm sure our viewers at home agree it was absolutely brilliant. Looking forward to seeing you all again next week, where we have a very special guest, Charles Hoskinson, who'll be discussing his passion for butterfly catching. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.